So, good day, everyone. Welcome to our virtual class for quantitative research. So, I hope you're still making your research papers by following all the instructions given. So, we will be discussing chapters 2 and 3 of your research paper. So, you can take screenshots if you want. And this video shall be posted online. I'll just give you the link sa inyong page. So let's begin with chapter 2. So chapter 2 is review of related literature and studies. I know you already have a knowledge sa inyong previous semester, but we shall review this one in case na ay mga nakalimot. Okay, so what is literature review? So I'm talking about the overall chapter 2 itself. So there are four definitions of literature review. First, of course, it is an academic text that provides an overview about your topic. Second, it also helps identify what is known and not known about a certain subject. So before you submit your title approval form, you list down all the related studies that you found online, as this will help you support and explain anything about your chosen topic. Third, it also involves higher order thinking skills. Nanong higher order thinking skills man? We use review, evaluation, and synthesis. I know that chapter 2 is the most lengthy part in making your research paper, kay it requires you to read a lot. So please avoid copy pasting the entire article that you found online. I know our sources are found online and it's very easy not to copy paste. So kindly avoid that one because all your papers will undergo plagiarism check. Okay, so fourth, so these scholarly works includes journal articles, professional books, online sources, and of course, specialized references. Anything as long as it is reliable. So, why problema? Basta kayo reliable lang. Okay? So, what are the different functions of literature review? So, I have here 6. First, establishes the relevance of the study. 2, provides a research gap. The good thing about research gap, guys, is you can create a new title out from the gap that you found based sa mga related studies nga mo nakitaan. So, ma-discover ni mo, okay, there is a certain loophole sa mga studies na na-fail nila to focus. Third, of course, it helps you with the important information. Fourth, presents contradictions. Dili pasabot, guys, that if you have the same variables with other researchers or other research studies, pareha na mo og conclusion. No. Mumitaw to siya ang atong gi-discuss before. Quantitative research is a replication. A replication in the sense that you can use the same variables with other researchers, and then you'd like to conduct this study sa imuhang setting to find out if the results outside your country would have the same results if pag-conduct na ka diri sa imong community. Okay, timan ina siya. So not all research papers have the same conclusion. Fifth, justifies your research methodology. The good thing said, guys, if you can see a lot of literatures about sa imong topic, is mas naakay murag mas ma-clarify ang imong goal sa imong research. And of course, the last one is theories and concepts. Katong mga na-assign sa theoretical background and conceptual background, if you just read other researchers carefully, if you just carefully read rather, makakita ka mga theories, guys. Ang imo lang yun no is to read and sabta ang imong gibasa. Muna siyang need mong magtinabangay because I know research is not an easy subject. Labi na ron online. So it would require a lot of effort from you. Kay mura siyang nahog nato ang setting karon is 50% self-study. Okay? After functions, guys, there are things that you need to remember when you are creating a draft for your literature review. So, sa man yung hinumduman, one, dapat when you gather all related na mga literatures, you need to think, unsaon din ako ni pag-arrange tanan, kadaghan ra ba ani? Aside from thinking how to arrange, you also need to consider how to connect one from the other. Dapat harmonious man ninyo ang output. Dili kay puro copy-pasted. Kung sa una makitaan mo, mag-una. Kung sa ikaduhang nga nakitaan mo, sunod. Okay, and also, you need to cite sources. So, importante kayo ang pag-cite of source. So, to go back, first is to arrange, second is to link. Miss, unsaon din mo pag-link, unsaon din mo pag-connect. So, there are some few suggestions. You can use transitional devices. If you can still recall what you had in English subjects, specifically in academic writing, you can apply the skill that you've learned sa subject. Repetition of terms. In contrast, you can say, in contrast to the idea of Sipasyo 2012 that, or like mga terms like in addition to the idea or to the statements stipulated by Baron 2015. Okay, dapat na atay mga transition words. Dili kay kada paragraph mo na mo the. No, do not be redundant. Okay, or you can use headings and subheadings. So, unsa dining headings and subheadings? Okay, example for that one is this. So, this is my research paper. So, this is a part of chapter 2, specifically on related literature na part. So, subheadings mo ni siya kaninga part. I'll accept first. Katong bagay na ni join. So, these are your subheadings. Okay, nga nang importante man ang subheadings. Guys, your subheadings will help you organize your literatures. Mura man ni siya themes. Themes that would sum up the paragraphs that are written below. So these paragraphs all are all talking about syntax. So the theme for those paragraphs is syntax. And on the second page, so the theme here is syntactic structures. So this is the subheading that that generalize or that sum up siya sa overall idea ani nga paragraphs. Muna siya advantage, especially no like padung na mo mag-oral defense. So this will help you to easily locate asa to yung i-mention, asa to yung imuhang i-emphasize. So you can use subheadings. Amis din nila ni mo nakita nimong subheadings. Your subheadings, guys, are taken from your research objectives. Dira na siya gikan. So in my research objectives, question number 1 or research question number 1 is talking about or is asking about syntax. And whereas my sub-problem 2 is asking about syntactic structures. So dili kay magmugna-mugna lang mo. Everything must be connected with your chapter 1. Okay, that's for related literature. So how should you write your wow, napasilingan-silingan. Okay, so unsaon pagsuwat inyong chapter 2. By the way, to recall, can you still remember the 3 things that you need to remember in constructing your literature? So you need to arrange, link, and cite. In addition, guys, para dili magkayagaw inyong output, you need to arrange it this way. One literature or one related literature or one related study should be equivalent to one paragraph. So meaning, guys, every paragraph is different topics, so you must connect that one. So muna siya one may nga ilan na to, pila di ka book literatures, pila di ka buok related studies ang inyong gibutang. So as a requirement sa inyong paper, we need 5 related literature or related conceptual literature, and also 5 related studies. So that would be a total of 10 literature review under chapter 2. So total of 10 literature reviews. So, inga na lang na to, ha? So, just take note of this. So, how should you write your related literature or even related studies? So, here are some of the few steps. First step, always provide an introduction. Nganong gamit mo ng introduction? Si introduction will help introduce asa na nimo gipanguha ang mga reviews nimo, mga literature reviews. So, as an example, so in this paragraph, this section contains literature and studies on acquisition learning integration, the biological basis and separation of learning and acquisition, comprehensible output, grammar, effective factor, and communicative competence. Guys, kaning part, let me annotate that one. Kani siya nga part is referring to the sub-problems, mga sub-variables, and factors. So, gi-introduce niya mga possible scope sa, the scope sa study. And in the next sentence, it talks about the materials. Asa gipanguha ang mga literatures. So these materials were gathered from books and language teaching. So this is the title or the type of book. Psychology and curriculum development, journals and other periodicals, theses and dissertations, online sources, and other unpublished materials. So these materials provided the researcher with an exhaustive review of the topic and essential background knowledge to pursue this study. So that's how you should write your introduction. Ay, ito may kopya ha guys ha. I know wala tayong mga books nga as sources no kay pandemic beta karon. So we rely much on online sources. So i-emphasize lang ninyo unsa nga online sources are these journals, online journals, are these university websites. Kinaman na maghatag sa mga university mga reliable sources. Okay, step number 2. For step 2, guys, of course, you already know this one. Your chapter 2 must be divided into 2 subsections. First one is what we call related literature or sometimes called conceptual literature. Pero stick lang ta sa atong related ha. Actually, in other studies, conceptual din na. Pero to make it uniform with the university itself, related literature lang ta. And the second subsection is related studies. So, unsa di kalainan sa literature and studies? So, ay gasagaran maglibog ang student, no? Mas-stress na din sila. So, guys, when we say conceptual or related literature, we're talking about the definition of the concept. When you say concept, we're talking about your subject or your variable. Aside from the definition, you also need to include the characteristics and the function. Function of that particular concept. So example, imong topic is self-esteem. So what is self-esteem according to this author? Definition, later on the definition, characteristics and function of a particular subject or concept. Provided by different authors. So these should be reliable authors. So what is self-esteem according to this author? So someone. So according to Rosenberg, that self-esteem it can be found. It can be affected by certain factors. So ibutang guys, ayaw na po na sobraan prog kay ka-psychological ha. Stick to the basic. So muna siya imuhang conceptual literature or related literature. Whereas related studies na gani guys, we are talking about we are talking about other research papers written by other authors. So kana lang ha. Simple. And when you are writing related studies, you need to take note that you should not copy everything. Ayaw copy hatanan ha. Ang atong elements na kuhaon lang, atong note, ang atong kuhaon lang sa related study is the title of the study, author, year of publication, else, objectives, research objectives, and conclusion. Kana ra mo na siya essential. Okay, gets na? Ayaw ko ata na, pa-stress sa tanan. And take note also guys, in writing your conceptual literature, you need to use concepts from the title itself or your specific questions sa inyong research. Okay? Kaya muna siya katong gigamit nato sa subheadings. As an example. Okay? So, next slide. So, as continuation, guys, this is intended for your related study. So, there are three ways on how you can arrange your related study. So, it could be thematic, chronological, and third is typological. So, start us with thematic. Guys, when we say thematic, so we're talking about themes, no? From the word thematic. So, themes, muna siya same atong comparison and contrast, specifically sa concluding a part sa research. Muna siya i-theme, i-categorize ninyo. Kani siyang correlation ninyong study, kani siyang a group of related studies are talking about significant relationship between the variables, and the other is there is no or negative ang ilahang conclusion or result. Negative doesn't mean to say bad, ha. Negative, like there is no relationship. Okay? So second, chronological. Kung sa Tagalog pa, pagka sunod-sunod ng pangyayari. So we start with the past, the beginning of the research about this certain subject up to the recent nga study. Third is typological. Seldom na kayo ninyo nagamit, guys. Ano naman? We're talking about studies that are conducted in the local setting. Meaning to say, sa imuang community. National gani nga mga study, maglisod man gani ta og pangita, di ba? Kay more on international. So, avoid lang sa tigurataan ni, ha? Kay basing maglisod mo, pero na lang na ay daghang studies that are conducted locally. So, as ending part of your chapter 2, so you need to provide synthesis. Synthesize your chapter 2. So how are you going to put that one sa last part? So emphasize what are the use of these literatures in your study. So simply answer that question. I don't know about the one sentence. I'll make it 2 or 3. Okay? So that's it for chapter 2. So proceed na ta sa chapter 3. So this chapter 3, guys, mubo ra ni siya. However, you must be very particular, with the terms that you are using. So, guys, methodology is actually helpful or the key in answering your research questions. So there are several elements for methodology. There are 6: research design, research environment, respondents, research instruments, data collection procedure, and data analysis procedure. So good ta sa research design. When we say research design, you're talking about the overall strategy that you utilize in your study. So it's very obvious, no, nga quantitative research ta. But be specific. Unsa nga quantitative research? Is it descriptive comparative or descriptive correlational? So as an example, I wrote there, descriptive correlational. So simply define and then add citation. So anong kana man inyong gigamit? Nganong descriptive correlational man inyong gamit? So add one sentence. For research environment, where did you conduct your study? Online na ba i-conduct ang study, miss? Okay, online. So, asa man nagikan inyong mga respondents? Of course, sa UC. So, just right there, the environment is dili UC Prague, guys, sa University of Cebu, comma, main, comma, no, dash, main, hyphen rather, guys, University of Cebu, hyphen, main campus, comma, senior high school department. So, unsay nature sa imuhang chosen environment? So, it is a senior high school department that offers how many tracks are offered sa UCDI. So, three. There are academic, technical, vocational, and arts and design. So, unsa ang mga strands under each? So, you have to provide. Okay? Third is to explain the uniqueness of your setting. So, anong unique man si UC? To provide your reasons as a researcher. So, research respondents. Oh. Si research respondents, guys, like what you are always asking, Miss Pila gid ka book respondents. Guys, good news, because you will no longer compute mathematical formulas, but instead, we will be using GAY 1976. So si GAY indicates that acceptable size for each quantitative designs are 30. Like maximum na siya. Ay, maximum, no, not maximum. Like, enough na daw si 30 to be distributed sa inyong curve. So, we only have two, no? Sa inyong choices. Correlational, 30 subjects. So, good thing. And then, comparative. So, since comparison man na siya between two groups or more, you have to divide your respondents equally. So, 15, kung gender, 15 male, 15 female. Okay? So, these are the tips. So, guys, so, describe the respondents of the study. So, example, the respondents of the study are senior high school students taking accountancy, business, and management strand. O, mas specific pag ito na mo grade 12. Okay? Yung say characteristics sa inyong respondents in general. Are there any criteria of choosing? Next, indicate the sampling size. So, since wala ta nagamit ang formula, simply mention GAY 1976, okay? And describe the selection of the respondents. It's in your math too. How did you choose? Stratified or simple random? Actually, guys, in your book, daghan pa na siyang choices. But para mabasa sa mo sa inyong libro, so kindly search for other kinds of sampling. Choose unsa nga sampling ang niuyon sa inyong study. Okay? So that's it for respondents. Next is instrument. Instrument. So talking about your questionnaire. So we all know that your questionnaire is a Likert scale. Habaw na taan na. Discuss the reliability. So we're talking about the Cronbach alpha here. Pila may reliability index ito. Hala, balikan na sa to inyong kuan. Third, what are the parts of your questionnaire? So we shall divide your questionnaire into three parts. Maghatag lang ako example sa Google Form, ha? It's from other section. Part 1 of your questionnaire should fall on the respondent's profile. Importante ang profiling, guys. Labi na online ta karon, no? We cannot guarantee that they've answered it properly. In my case, no, wala na tarong answer. Na ay case na isa pa ng mga problema, like makakontak na nila easily. For respondent's profile, you can include the name, grade and section, strand, gender. Kato lang mga importante, and about na nag-age. Part 2 of if you're using correlational, guys, of course, you have to label that one as questionnaire and a variable. So what is the name of the questionnaire for that variable? For part 3, since correlational man, what is the name of the questionnaire for that variable? Ay, ganyan lang. So after your research instrument, guys, Data collection procedure. When we say procedure, we're talking about the step-by-step process on how you will collect or conduct your study. Lagi ni mga informed consent and all. So how did you administer that one? What is the content of your Google form? And emphasize what should be done after the data collection. You can simply say, the data collected from the respondents shall be subject for statistical analysis. Okay? Pwede na mo kapyohan akong giingon. And the last part, data analysis procedure. Guys, those highlighted in yellow are statistical tools. Okay, pili lang kadli siya ingon tanan magamit ninyo ha. So kani, all research ninyo will get the mean and standard deviation, average, and how scattered or how varied are the answers. Discuss ra niya taani. And manamog sa data collection. So, first thing you need to do is to get the mean and standard deviation. And then define what is mean, what is standard deviation. Ayag kalimot og citation. And to those research papers who are using comparative design, your statistical tool would be t-test for independent samples. Okay? So define t-test by citation. Simplified akong definition, guys, ha? For correlational design, please use Pearson correlation coefficient. Define, add citation. For correlational research nga na mga factors, guys, we will use regression. So what is regression? Define and cite. Ganyan lang. So that would be the end for our discussion for chapters 2 and 3. So kindly chat your questions and queries regarding our discussion. And please assign tasks to your members. Okay? Ayaw pala pumuduka ah.